Cheating in football isn't always straightforward. Sometimes it's about bending the rules without actually breaking them, but that's not the case all the time. Sometimes you can't trick the eyes of the secret observers. Here are 10 times footballers were caught cheating. Diego Maradona. This legend made history during the 1986 World Cup in Mexico. In one game, he scored what many considered the greatest goal ever, but it also stirred up a lot of controversy. Maradona, standing at just 5'5" tall, faced a tough challenge against England's goalkeeper, Peter Shilton. So when the ball came his way, he did something unexpected. He used his hand to hit it into the net. The English team and fans were outraged, but the referees didn't catch the foul. Maradona famously remarked that the goal was scored a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. But Maradona wasn't the only player to bend the rules. In the 2010 World Cup, Luis Suarez, playing for Uruguay, punched a ball out of the net during a match against Ghana, preventing a goal. And before that, Thierry Henry, playing for France, handled the ball before scoring in a playoff match against Ireland. These incidents show that cheating in football isn't uncommon, even at the highest levels of the game. What do you think about these controversial moments in football history? Do you believe players should be punished more harshly for cheating? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Revaldo. Let's talk about Revaldo's big moment at the 2002 World Cup. So, Revaldo was pretty amazing during that tournament. He scored 2 goals and helped out with 2 assists, but there is this one incident that got everyone talking. It happened during a match against Turkey in the group stage. Revaldo was waiting to take a corner kick, just minding his own business. But then, the ball comes flying towards him from Hakan Ünsal, the Turkish player, a bit faster than usual. And what does Revaldo do? Well, instead of just letting it pass by, he kind of, he acts. He acts like the ball hit him in the face, even though it didn't. And let me tell you, he put in quite a show. He fell to the ground, clutching his face and started rolling around like he was in agony. Now, the linesman, the guy whose job is to watch for stuff like this, he was right there, inches away from Revaldo. You'd think he would see through the act, right? But nope, Revaldo's acting was so convincing that even the linesman fell for it. Can you believe it? After the match, FIFA weren't too happy about what happened. They launched an investigation into Revaldo's little performance, and you know what they found? They found out that Revaldo was faking it. So they slapped him with a fine of $7,350. Ouch, that's gotta hurt, right? But here's the kicker, Revaldo didn't get suspended. No, he still got to play in Brazil's next game against China. Enrique Martin. Imagine you're watching a football match, the tension is high, the stakes are even higher. The year is 1999, and Enrique Martin, the manager of Leganes, is on the edge of his seat. His team is leading 1-0 against Badajoz, but suddenly, a quick counterattack threatens to spoil everything. Badajoz's player is speeding down the wing, aiming to level its score. Martin, unable to contain his passion for the game, does something unexpected. He jumps into the action. Summoning his inner Paolo Maldini, he makes a tackle on the Badajoz winger, trying to halt their momentum. Surprisingly, Martin's tackle is on spot. He managed to get the ball off the opponent cleanly. However, despite this successful intervention, he's not a player anymore, he's the manager. And managers aren't supposed to jump onto the pitch like players. Martin's actions earn him more than just applause from the fans. He receives a 10-year game ban for his impulsive move. There's one tackle that stands out as particularly nasty, and that's the one delivered by Andoni Goicoechea, also known as the Butcher of Bilbao. Goicoechea earned the nickname for a reason. He was known for his tough, no-nonsense style of play. But in 1963, he took things too far when he committed a terrible foul against Maradona. Maradona described the sound of his breaking ankle like he would snapping. It was a horrific moment, but thankfully, the authorities acted swiftly. Goicoechea was hit with a 10-match ban for his actions. Now, let's talk about Norbert Meyer and his bad acting. Play acting or pretending to be injured is unfortunately a common sight in football these days, but you'd expect better from the managers, right? Well, most managers know better than to get involved in that kind of behavior. But not Norbert Meyer. The former Duisburg manager took things to a whole new level when he squared up to Cologne midfielder Albert Streit and gave him a little headbutt. Can you believe it? Here's Meyer, a grown man and a manager no less, acting like he's been seriously injured by a little tap on the head. It's ridiculous. and to make matters worse, he did it right in front of the referee, who had no choice but to send him off. Needless to say, Duisburg didn't waste any time in giving Mira the boot after that stunt. Now let's talk about the disgrace of Gijon during the 1982 World Cup. West Germany, one of the tournament favorites, was facing the possibility of an early exit after losing to Algeria. They needed to beat Austria in their final group game, but not by too much. Just a 1-0 win would do the trick. And guess what? They got exactly that. Horst Rubisch scored early in the 10th minute, and then both teams just passed the ball around for the remaining 80 minutes, not even trying to score again. Can you imagine the frustration of the Spanish crowd? They booed and jeered, rightfully so. FIFA had to step in after that and change the rules so that the final group games would kick off at the same time to avoid any more shenanigans like this. Playoffs are intense, right? Well, in 2013, during a match between Tupi and Perenice, things got even crazier. The score was tied at 2-2 when Adam Milson had a clear chance to score the winning goal for Tupi. But just as his shot was heading into the net, a Perenice master ran onto the pitch and kicked the ball clear not once but twice. Riyadh police had to get involved and to protect him from the angry Tupi players. Next, let's talk about the pressure of being a penalty taker. It's all on you to score and be the hero, right? Well, imagine stepping up to take a penalty, and just before you do, you realize that the goalkeeper has sabotaged the penalty spot by digging his studs into the turf. That's exactly what happened in 2015 when Augsburg's Marvin Hitz did just that. Anthony Modest slipped on the damaged turf and missed the penalty, allowing Augsburg to win 1-0. Not the most fair move by Hitz, but he promised it wouldn't happen again. Jorge Burruchaga and Christopher Robert. Let's go back to 1992-93 when Marseille, a football club, was aiming for their 5th Ligue 1 title in a row. Sounds impressive, right? But they had another big game coming up, the Champions League final against AC Milan. Now, winning both titles would be great, but they had a problem. How could they give their all in the last league game and still be fresh for the final against AC Milan? Well, their club president, Bernard Tapie, thought he had a solution. He decided to offer some cash incentives or bribes to the players of Valenciennes, their opponents in the final league game. The idea was simple. Convince Valenciennes players to take it easy on Marseille so they wouldn't have to work too hard and could save their energy for the big final. 2 players from Valenciennes, Jorge Burrucha and Christopher Robert, agreed to this plan, but one player, Jacques Glassman, wasn't on board. He didn't like the idea of cheating and decided to expose the scandal. Eventually, Marseille won the game against Valenciennes 1-0, but it wasn't all celebration. When Glassman revealed what had happened, the league authorities took action. They revoked Marseille's title, and Bernard Tapie, the club president, was in big trouble. He was sentenced to over 2 years in prison for his part in the scandal. These incidents may seem like something out of a movie, but they actually happened on the football pitch. Can you think of any more? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to stay updated on more intriguing stories like these, don't forget to hit subscribe for more content.